Hello and welcome to a new season of Backstage GW. I'm your host, Henry Murillo, and this is GW's only source for an inside look at the amazing performances our campus has to offer. And though we've only been back on campus for a little over a month, the GW performing arts scene is already in full swing. Today, we'll take a look at the first annual Shakespeare Smackdown. Then, Lizzy, Marmon, and Mike Noel of Sweeney, Todd will join me here in the studio. But first, let's go backstage at one of GW's oldest theater traditions, the Welcome Back One Acts, produced by 14th grade players. This year, last-minute shakeups almost threatened to shut down the production, but as the saying goes, the show must go on.
You're gay!
Yeah.
And why am I on a date with you?
So what's going on today is rehearsal for our Welcome Back One Acts. It's a show we do every year. It's small scenes that get freshmen involved in theater, so they don't have to jump in and do a full-length show right off the bat. We have 3 scenes this year. We have Check Please. We also have This Is a Play, and our last one is called Way Station. It's an original piece written by Shearer, also directed by her.
I'm so glad that I auditioned for this because I was a little bit skeptical about it just because I didn't know if I wanted to throw in a show yet with my schedule, but I'm absolutely glad I did. Everyone in the cast is absolutely wonderful, and the shows are so funny, except for Shearer's, which is very heartwarming and heartbreaking at the same time.
What's different about this year as opposed to last year? Well, last year we went for a couple more shows than we did this year. We decided to cut the number of shows back, so it feels like a better paced show. This year we're in the Bets as opposed to the downstage due to some technical difficulties, which are unavoidable. But thanks to we have a lot of resources on campus, we get to come in and use a really great theater like this one obviously behind me, and we're pretty excited about that.
We all adapted pretty well, I think. The directors and the board kept us very abreast of the situation. It was very collaborative, and it was actually a lot smoother transition. Now we're just getting technical things smoothed out, but our blocking really didn't have to change that much, actually, so it was good. I actually really like this theater, and from what I know, we don't use it a whole lot. So it's kind of special that we get to have our Welcome Back One Acts in an area that we don't usually get to welcome people back to.
Obviously, we have to work around the Bets' schedule. We couldn't get in here till 9 today when we wanted to rehearse at 6. So there are little difficulties you have to deal with, but obviously the show must go on, and it's got to go on somewhere.
And I was born on the shores of New Jersey.
My first character is a very sweet girl, but when she listens to football, she gets a little bit out of hand.
Bags.
The Bears suck!
And then my second character is a subconscious klepto. And then my third character has multiple personality disorder, but she forgot to take her pill, so it's a little bit more prominent than it would be.
She started it! Girls,
you
please
talking
don't
to?
fight. What would your father say? Oh, let him fight! Builds character!
Excuse me.
You stay out of this! Hey, leave him alone. You just met him. Oh, he can take care of himself!
I would like to be very involved, and I want to get involved with as many companies as I can and, have that nice range that GW offers.
My favorite part of the show, and this may be a corny answer, but my favorite part of the show is the fact that we get new people involved.
Definitely a good way to start the year.
Look, how about we just skip this and go to a hockey game or something?
Oh, I can't. I'm a pacifist.
Play mini golf.
Asthma.
See a musical.
Depends.
On what?
I have ailurophobia.
Fear of...
Cats.
The GW Student Theater Council is a large and thriving community, and it just got a bit bigger. This year, the council admitted a new theater group, the GW Shakespeare Company. Many wondered if the addition of a 4th company was necessary. After all, what could GW Shakespeare offer that the other 3 companies weren't? To find out, our cameras went backstage at the company's first event ever, Shakespeare Smackdown. I was asked to help judge the acting competition, which proved that the new company had something fresh to bring to the table. It was a night of serious acting, physical comedy, and overall fun as the GW Shakespeare Company presented their first official event as a part of the STC. They called it Shakespeare Smackdown, a competition that involved 10 acts competing for the title of winner. Guest judges Ben Pincus of 14th grade players.
I'll be true. I love your conviction, and I love your heart.
Lauren Bagnick of FPP.
Digging the military thing. It's like a thing.
Turns her on.
Yeah.
She said yes!
And myself of Generic.
I felt
like y'all did a really good job of did I just say y'all? Judge the duets and monologues, all from Shakespearean plays. Far from harsh critics, the judges mostly offered laughs throughout the show. The judges' ratings on a scale of 1 to 10 were averaged with decibel readings from the audience's applause after each act. The big winner of the night? Freshman Meg Stevenson, who performed a moving monologue.
Or rob his temples of the great diadem. Now in his life.
Meg narrowly beat out the second place act, a scene from Taming of the Shrew, by 0.1 decibel. In a standout performance, Sherry Shen acted out a monologue from Romeo and Juliet in her native Mandarin. As one of the people in attendance, I can tell you that this was a night to remember and a fabulous way to kick off the student theater season. I'm already looking forward to next year's event. Congratulations, GW Shakespeare, for such an inventive and enjoyable show.
Yoga.
One time, so you can do it once. Today I'm joined by Elizabeth Marmon and Michael Noel, the stars of the theater department's highly anticipated production of Sweeney Todd. Lizzy and Mike, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
Good to be here.
I'm really excited about the show. What's it like to play such iconic roles? You're playing Mrs. Lovett and you're playing, of course, Sweeney. So what does it feel like to play a role that's been played by such huge names before?
I don't know, for me, the role was originated by Angela Lansbury, done in the revival by Patti LuPone, done in the movie by Helena Bonham Carter,
Wow.
and a new revival, Imelda Staunton. So there are some pretty big character actors' shoes to fill. But it's really exciting because I get to make this role completely my own. I'm definitely inspired by the recordings and by some of the illegal YouTube videos that are out there. But it's really exciting to just create something completely by myself and take my own inspiration and make it my own.
So you take a little bit, but you add your own.
Of course, it's kind of like a little bit of an honoring to them. There are certain little moves and things that, you know, they made iconic, so you kind of have to do them just in terms of how they deliver lines. Mm-hmm. But it's much better to make it your own.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And for you, Mike, what's it like to play a character that's so bad?
Well, Sweeney's not all bad. He is a man who still, through most of the show, maintains his own sort of sense of moral justice. He's almost like Dexter in that he has a code and he has reasons for what he does, and he's more a victim of some tragic circumstances than an evil person. But I actually have played a series of debatably bad characters throughout my acting career, and for whatever reason I continue to be cast in those roles, so apparently I somehow I seem to fit that, I suppose. And
I wonder.
It's almost nice to be able to do something that is different from myself in that way, that I think of myself as sort of a mirror for some of these characters, that it's nice to explore that other side of morality, I guess.
Right. Well, we do have a clip of you guys performing or rehearsing. So can you tell us quickly what's going on in this clip?
Sure. This is a scene that we have at the end of the first act. It's a song called A Little Priest. To give a little bit of a plot spoiler, Sweeney has just killed his first victim, who's threatened to reveal his true identity. And my character decides that rather than just throw away the body, since I'm the owner of a meat pie shop that's out of meat, why not use that body for the meat for the pies?
Why not?
We begin to discuss all the different flavors that the pies could possibly be.
I see. Okay. Well, let's take a look at the clip.
Yes, Mr. Todd, yes, all around.
It's man devouring man, my dear. And who are we to deny it in here? We'll take the customers that we can get.
High, born, and low.
My love will not discriminate great from small. No, we'll serve anyone.
We'll serve anyone and to anyone at all.
That's pretty creepy stuff, guys. So how frightening are you trying to make this production? Is this something that we can bring our younger siblings to, or is it strictly PG-13?
I mean, it's definitely on the darker side in terms of subject matter, but I mean, compared with what's available on TV these days, it's nothing too terrible. I mean, there's not a heck of a lot of swearing and not overly gory, but just anyone that is capable of handling sort of a more mature storyline, I think, is fine coming along here. It's got to be somewhat dark. That's what Sondheim gave us, so.
Okay, so shifting gears a little bit here, away from Sweeney. This is not your first time performing together, by far. So tell us about some of your past performances and how they differ from this one.
Well, we've been doing university singers and chamber choir together since we were freshmen here. We're both really involved in the music department. And then last year, we got the opportunity to do Next to Normal together. I was Diana, the mother, and
I was Gabe, the ghostly son. It's a bit of a switch, I think, in that sort of the roles are reversed, where in that show I was sort of clinging on to Lizzy and wouldn't let go of her character, and in this show it's the other way around. And clearly very different musical setting for that. So it's the difference of a modern sort of rock show and something that is bordering on an opera, and that's a totally different experience. But I'm glad that I got to work with Lizzy again, because I think we really have something good going together.
Great, so it was nice to be back on the stage together then.
yeah, it's nice to have someone who you can just absolutely know that you can rely on when you go into a scene. There's just absolute trust. It's really great.
That's so great. Well, I've loved having you guys here. I'm so excited for the production. It goes up Halloween weekend.
The weekend right after, the first weekend of November.
I can't think of a better time. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Henry.
Thank you.
And make sure you all at home visit the TRDA website so you can pick up a ticket for the show, which will go up in the Betts Theater on the first weekend of November. This year is off to a great start for the GW Performing Arts community, and we'll be there every step of the way. Join us next time when I visit the set of TRDA's Almost Maine. And make sure you follow us on Twitter at Backstage GW and like us on Facebook. Also, you can visit our YouTube channel and, of course, catch us on Channel 61 or gwtelevision.com. I'm Henry Murillo, and I'll see you next time, Backstage.